Welcome to this episode of the Growthcast. It's me, Jackson Campbell, here joined with Dallas Pruitt for an extended cut this beautiful Saturday. We are very, very grateful again to have Dallas on with us here. Dallas, how are you this morning?
Dude, I'm grateful to be here. I am extremely grateful every Saturday and every weekday and everything to just be here and be a part of this.
Love it, dude. Myself as well, 100%. Real quick, before we get started, before we dive into the topic today, Dal, kind of a crazy off the wall kind of question that just popped into my brain.
Oh man, I am not prepared.
What is your favorite part about doing the Growthcast?
Oh, dude, what is my favorite part about doing the Growthcast? Gosh, that is such a tough question. One, there's a lot of reasons I like it. One, it gives me, I mean, this is super selfish. I guess all my answers are selfish. I get to hang out with my friends when I jump on the Growthcast. I get to hang out with people that I love. And you know, I'm pretty lucky to be able to work with people that I just thoroughly enjoy having a part of my life. That is like a huge W for me. But also like from a, I guess, again, selfish, dude, it gives me an opportunity to really dive deep and study. And it helps me so much to just be a better mirror. You know, it just helps me so much to my level of self-awareness has increased 1,000-fold since starting the Growthcast. And I'm just super grateful for that, you know, because I think it's helped me face some things that otherwise I probably wouldn't have faced, or I wouldn't have like proactively sought out and learned about myself. But again, all of that, I guess, to kind of like take it away from the selfish factor is like, all of that is because I've rooted my definite major purpose in just being the best that I possibly can, not for me, but for my family, for people like you and Tyler, for people like you that are listening. Like that's why I choose to be selfish. If that's the word you want to use. Sure. And I'm just extremely grateful for that. And I would say that that's one of my favorite things about the Growthcast is it has provided me with this interactive experience to myself and being a mirror at the maximum capacity possible, which has ultimately allowed me or helped me to help way more people than I ever thought I would have been able to help. And that almost makes me cry. I just am really, really, really grateful for that. And I don't know if that's like the right answer or best answer.
No, dude, that's
just an answer. So
it's a great answer, dude. There was no right answer to that, but I was kind of hoping that you would go down that. When I thought of the question, I was kind of hoping you would answer that way because it's an actionable. First off, thank you for sharing that. And I agree, dude. The Growthcast is amazing because we get to spend some time with each other and we get to go over these amazing growth mindset principles that truly have changed your life, changed my life, and changed the lives of the listeners as they listen and as they learn and as they implement these things. But a great actionable here that you just explained too, Dow, was you really learn the best. Your studies go the best when you're preparing to teach it to somebody else. Right. Now I've been able to gain so much from doing the Growthcast because every time I study mindset, I know that at some point I'm going to need to be able to teach it or share it. And it helps me understand the principle that much better. Right. I was listening to Ryan Holiday the other day and it was like, if you can't explain an idea or a vision in less than 5 minutes, chances are you don't even understand the idea or the vision to its entirety. Right. Yep. So it's understanding. It's a great actionable, dude, is as you're studying things, study them with that in mind, that you're going to teach them to somebody else, that somebody else is going to benefit from you learning these things. You inevitably will learn more and grow more in that process, but also it's not for you, right? We talk about all the time how your why has to be greater than yourself. Your actions, your studies, anything that you do, if you do it with that in mind, it can be so much more impactful. Well, so no doubt, that was awesome, dude. You explained it. You answered exactly the way that I thought you would, but well, it's good. such
glad
a great
I could deliver. But it is very true, man. I really I was going to share this. That's so funny that this, like, it's not ironic. I think it's actually by like design that this stuff happens. But again, homework plays a lot of your due diligence plays a lot into that type of response, right? Like what we're talking about. But I wrote this down This is my own personal journal that I wrote down this morning. And it said, I'm a firm believer it's everyone's job to take their experiences, learn from them, and then share the lessons with others. It's how we grow collectively. Don't be selfish, share and help. You could count. And then I was writing a list. So I put, you could count that one as number 5. I was writing a list of things out, but I truly just believe that that's like, again, attaching meaning to suffering. It's like, we suffer on purpose, man. Like you're going through your experiences for a reason, and it's not just for you.
Right.
It's actually because through you, other people can be impacted greatly if you just choose courage. If you just, Ryan Holiday talks a lot about courage. He's got this book that's pretty awesome. But yeah, be courageous, man. Like, be courageous through your endeavors. Like, you're not experiencing them just for you. You're not just going through them. They're happening for a reason. And then it's your job to extract the lessons at the highest capacity you possibly can. Feed a growth mindset as you go navigate through that. And then your job, I truly believe it's all of our jobs to like be vulnerable and go share that stuff with everybody. And the Growthcast has really taught me a lot about vulnerability, a layer of vulnerability that honestly I never had prior. And very powerful tool for growth.
Very powerful.
For sure.
Very powerful. But exactly what you're sharing, dude. It's powerful to learn those things, to go teach them to others, because just in so many ways, it opens up so many doors for growth.
Oh yeah.
No, it's so true. And it kind of leads into the topic today. First off, before I dive into the topic, if you're just joining us here at the Growthcast, welcome. We're very excited to have you here. You just met Dallas Pruitt. Dallas Pruitt, he gives us daily drips Monday through Thursday, 5 to 10 minute episodes where Dallas talks about a mindset principle. It's very powerful daily drips. Again, Monday through Thursday, make sure to tune in for those to start your day off on the right foot. Then on Friday, I sit down with Tyler Deveraux for an interview. I interview him about either a mindset principle or real estate topic. Those episodes are also very valuable to hear from Tyler and hear his insight and his perspective on certain issues and certain topics. So definitely tune in for those Aloha Friday episodes. And then, like I said at the beginning of this episode, this is an extended cut Saturday episode where I am able to sit down with Dallas Pruitt, this amazing individual, and interview him. And we kind of dissect the topic. I like to give my feedback and my perspective on things as well, too, on these episodes a little bit more than I do on the Friday ones. But that is what the Growthcast is all about. So thank you for joining us. If it's your first time here, please rate, review, subscribe. And the only thing that we ask people to do is to share. So if you can share the episode with those in need, definitely give it a share.
I want to do a shout out real quick, though. Before I dive in, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to who is now the Growthcast team. It's not just me. It's not just Jax. It's not just Tyler. And we've had a slew of members come on as of late, names like Dwayne and Strat and Jaden. And I'm sure there are others that I just failed to name, but we are just grateful for our team that we've gotten to this point, large in part due to all of you who subscribe and share and listen. And just amazing people, dude. So I just want to give a shout out to that team.
Yeah, no, very grateful for them and all that they do. Yeah, and the podcast wouldn't be what it is or what it's going to become without them and that team. So we're very, very grateful for them. Okay. Awesome. Okay, let's dive in here, Dal. I wanted to ask you a super loaded question today, and maybe we can just touch on a few of these answers that you have. But I wanted to talk about how can we think bigger from a mindset principle. Tyler Deveraux enters the room. Tyler, welcome to work today.
I got my Think Bigger t-shirt on. Speaking of Think Bigger, that was like perfect cue for Tyler to show up.
It really was.
But yeah, dude, think bigger. How do we think bigger? What does think bigger mean from a mindset perspective? And dude, it is a loaded question. I would consider myself to be a bigger thinker. And I think that maybe step one in breaking this down today is just helping everybody adopt that same type of mentality. It's really an identity, I think identity is crucial with this here. I am a bigger thinker. I don't just think big, but I am a bigger thinker. I adopt, feed, and live a growth mindset in everything I do. And really thinking big or bigger thinkers, they've rooted their approach, their mentality, their mindset in a growth mindset. And bigger thinkers, there's a lot of things that bigger thinkers do. There is not enough time in this episode to teach you everything you need to know on how to think big. Like, not even close.
No way.
But we could touch on a few. We can touch on a few specifics. So
let's do it.
Okay.
Let's dive in here.
All right. Well, one of the things that bigger thinkers do is they know their why. They know their why and they refocus in on it often. You guys hear us talk about this a lot. And, when you know why you do, this is a great way to remember this. When you know why you do what you do, you'll have more power to do it. And part of that is you have to anchor your actions or clarify before you can anchor your actions and purpose. You actually need to like clarify your intentions every single day, clarify your intentions in your life. What is your purpose? What do you live for? Right. And that's what bigger thinking is all about, is living by design, but like doing that type of thought work as you approach your day, as you get ready to take actions and not just drift and coast through your experiences. Growing up, I'm a church boy. I went to church when I was a kid. And I remember there was this saying, eat, sleep, drink, and be merry because tomorrow we die. Something like that. Right. And it's like, that sounds inviting, sounds really inviting sometimes because life's tough. But dude, does fulfillment come from that? Hell to the mother freaking no. That is not where fulfillment comes from. Fulfillment comes from defining a purpose to your existence, going out, anchoring your actions in that purpose, clarifying and re-clarifying your intentions every single day. That is what bigger thinking is all about.
And when you do that, it helps expand your vision for yourself and your self-belief. When you're always honing in on what that why is and why you're doing it, it builds that self-confidence. It's why you're doing it, why you continue to move forward. And it is what bigger thinkers are always doing, is always focusing on that bigger why, that lighthouse in the distance, and working towards it. No, that's awesome, dude. Okay, another one. Let's dive into another.
Let's go through, I don't know, let's go through like 5 or 6 here. I mean, again, we're limited on time, but let's go through like 5 or 6. So another thing that bigger thinkers do is they regularly quiet the noise. What I mean by that is, this cell phones, apps, news, other people's opinions, media. Gosh, we could name a bunch of others, but you as an individual, one thing that will plague your ability to think big is if you listen to everything and pay attention to everything. If you are listening to everything and paying attention to everything, you are more than likely doing almost nothing. And it's this trap of learning that people get stuck into. It's like that whole model of live life. I attach it to this think big philosophy. Yeah. It's like that came from the fact that I watched so many people through my work just learn how to become something, learn how to do something, but very few going out and becoming or doing that exact thing. And it's because they kept listening. They kept paying attention to everything. They didn't put up a boundary. They didn't establish a system for quieting the noise and keeping their focus and weeding or in feeding the grass in that specific area so that it would grow. And bigger thinkers, dude, they have some safeguards in their day. They quiet the noise regularly. Tyler likes to meditate. Now the dude just walked in, but like you tell me all the time that like midday he'll just freaking set up shop in his office there and turn on some go-to song to just
10, 15 minutes,
to clear
12,
up.
15 minutes. Yep.
That's what bigger thinkers do,
But it's strategic.
Man. Yep.
It's strategic, right? It's strategic. And one of the things that you're always talking about is growth happens by design. It's strategic. It doesn't happen by chance. One of like quieting the noise is what bigger thinkers do, but it's exactly that, dude. It's being strategic about it. When am I going to quiet the noise to help myself refocus on that next step that's, again, going to get me to my bigger purpose and that why, that lighthouse in the distance. So no, dude, quieting the noise is one of the biggest things that I've learned from you. I've learned from Tyler. One of the things that you do, you've shared on the Growthcast as well, to quiet the noise, is at the end of your work day, right? Again, this is thinking bigger. It might not have a direct correlation with Dallas's business and Dallas's why, but it does when you hear what I say, what I'm about to say. But when Dallas gets home from work, or when Dallas is done working, he puts his phone away for 2 hours because he quiets that noise so he can be present with his family. And that's important. It's an important thing. And Dallas, you've mentioned multiple times how that actually benefits you and your work and the work that you do and your why.
Absolutely.
It's because you have your priorities and you quiet that noise.
I'm going to show this.
Right time.
Like you're speaking on that. And so, I mean, we're recording this thing. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see this hopefully, but like, if you're not, that's okay. I'm showing the screen of my phone, and on the screen of my phone, when I unlock my phone, it's a picture of my family. I have my text app, my messaging app, and then I have my phone button. Those are the only two apps that you can see forward facing when I open my phone. Outside of that, it is a picture of my why. It's my family. And if I want to go somewhere and be distracted, I have to work for it. So I have to swipe a couple times before I even start to hit my apps.
Yeah.
And then my apps are organized. People that think big, they go to that extent and take that type of action. That's how much care and attention they give to the details. And again, that's like been a process of learning and implementing something just a little bit better to help me quiet the noise. And that's one thing that I've found that has helped me, that I've learned through others, is, dude, like if you're going to use a tool like this, which is one of the most impactful tools that you've been given, or that you have, like, dude, like set yourself up for success by like quiet the noise there too, So that's a little tactic that I use as well. That helps me, again, be way more productive and experience way more growth in my life.
Very impactful. If you're having a hard time quieting the noise to be able to focus on what you need to do, I definitely suggest following Dallas's advice there. Set up your phone in a way, be strategic about it, that you're not always distracted by it. No, that's awesome. Okay, let's dive into two more here, Dal. I know you've got a list of them here, but two more actionables that bigger thinkers do.
Okay, we're going to just go with two then, and I'm going to go with think in abundance. And honestly, I might flip that back to you, because you are one of the people who has learned probably more about this in the last couple of years since starting on with the multifamily mindset, just given your proximity to Tyler. And I could speak the same. I mean, abundant thinkers are big thinkers. And we are taught, we are raised, most of us, in an environment between school and home and everything else, to think with a scarcity mindset. And Tyler has helped me immensely to understand what the type of power that exists in thinking in abundance, in an abundant mentality. There is enough for everyone to go around, and there is more to achieve, and there's just more that you can do, more that you can have, more that, and you deserve it. And if it's rooted again in the mentality of for others, I love him telling the story of why he loves living in Hawaii and the means that he has to provide people a sanctuary and a place to come. And it's so true. It's not just words, it's actions. I mean, I come out a couple of weeks ago, and where do I set up shop? In he and Britt's home with their kids. And it's beautiful, and it's abundant, and it's great. And they share every freaking thing they have. No, don't go to the store. Don't go buy food. What can we grab you? What treats do you like? Here's a bunch of drinks. I mean, it's those small of details which sound like maybe simple, but are extremely impactful to everything else, way bigger than just that. Hey, don't rent a car, just take our truck. Like whatever it is. But bigger thinkers, they deliver with those types of actions because they are wired that way. And the cool thing is if you're not wired that way, and it doesn't come naturally, dude, you can change. You can learn. And really, it's just getting uncomfortable and like going against the grain of maybe what you've been taught or what you thought was a correct type of thinking. Yeah.
Dude, when I think of bigger thinkers, I would say that this is the number one attribute. It has to be. And that's to have a abundant mentality. That's exactly what thinking bigger is, dude. It's really like stretching your imagination, stretching your belief, stretching what you believe can actually be done, and then having the courage and action to go do it, right? And to go make it happen.
And also the belief that like you are deserving of it. You are deserving of it. And that I also think is kind of part of that process in adopting an abundant mentality, or ingraining that part of your mental capacity within your,
such a good point.
Ability to think.
Such a good point. So. That the abundant mentality about yourself and your abilities and what is actually possible for yourself. That's such a huge takeaway. Awesome. Let's do one more, Dal.
Yeah.
Let's do one more.
Last one is bigger thinkers yearn to learn, not prove. And it sounds simplistic, like, hey, your job is just to learn as much as you possibly can. But it's just like, how many people don't focus on that? How many people, divert from failure? How many people say they want to improve, but they never really do because they're so scared to, look stupid or be wrong. And it's just like, when you spend more time trying to prove something, you are actually hindering your ability to grow and progress. Whereas if you would just lay your focus every day, wake up, lift your head off the pillow and go, today, my overarching job is to learn as much as I possibly can. Because again, why do you learn? Why are you focused on learning as much as you possibly can? Well, because you want to help as many people as you possibly can. And you want to get better, and you demand, greatness out of yourself. You demand a better version of yourself today than what you were yesterday. That's why you want to learn. Like that's why you focus on learning. You want to solve problems. You don't want to stay stuck on problems. You want to solve them. You want to find solutions. Only way to find solutions is if you're constantly learning. And so bigger thinkers, dude, they're the best learners. They're the best learners because they actually have a passion for learning. It's not even just like, hey, I need to learn. Like, it's not a requirement. Like, they literally are dying to learn as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, dude. And another thing, just to kind of wrap this one into the very first one that they talked about, they're learning things that are going to help drive them towards their why, right? They're putting that work and that effort in on their off time or whatever. When they're not working towards their goals, they're spending that other time learning what they can do to better achieve their goals and move closer to their goals. So it's not about just learning, right? It's about learning being strategic about it. Like we've been talking about from the beginning.
They have a definite aim. They have,
but they know exactly what they're doing.
They have a purpose to all of it. Yep.
When they're thinking in abundance, when they're yearning to learn, not to prove, right? When they anchor their actions and purpose, they're intentional. And when they know their why, dude, it's like those are huge, huge, huge things. But it all comes back down to it all being purposeful.
Yep.
Having to have purpose behind all of these things that you're doing.
So wonderful. And what's cool is we could probably break down, and we should do part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of thinking big. Maybe this becomes a series here on the extended cut. But I truthfully just believe that if you want to, the key to unlocking your potential, the key to unlocking the door to that next big goal of yours, whatever it is, it all lies within your ability to just adopt the right mentality every single day and feed it. And, think big, man. Don't just think big, think bigger, right? Bigger thinkers. I am a bigger thinker. That should be your affirmation over the course of the next little while, for sure. Let it become your identity.
Oh man, I love that. Expand the belief in yourself by believing more and thinking bigger of what you can accomplish for yourself and those around you.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Dallas, anything else you want to add here as we wrap up?
That's it, baby. I think that was a great way to spend a Saturday. That was a great way. That's my favorite way to spend a Saturday. And so just a huge invite to keep reaching out to us and our team. Let us know how we can serve you, your goals, so that you can go out and unlock that next level of your potential and keep down this path of growth. So
yes, Dallas, thank you so much for joining us again, man, and just spitting this knowledge and again, studying these things and learning them in a way that you can come teach us so we can learn them. Appreciate you and your efforts, man. Thank you everybody for listening. Again, the only thing we ask is that you share the episode with those that could benefit from it. Everybody can benefit from it. So share it everywhere. Everybody needs to hear these things. Dallas, thanks again, my man. Thank you all again for tuning in. Take care, y'all.